Hi everybody, Mike here, and today I'm just going to talk about the sequencer again in Soft Acoustic Guitar, my contact instrument. And I've had a couple of requests for how to program chord sequences in the sequencer. So as you can see, what we've got loaded here is a pattern, but it's kind of separate individual notes, kind of like finger-picked stuff. But when it comes to strumming, obviously the first thing you've got is this chord mode. I've got a down strum, an up strum. You know, I can change the strum speed, make that a bit quicker maybe, humanize it a bit. So that's a great way of playing in chord sequences. But the advantage of the sequencer is that you can really program in really specific things. The best thing, if I just show you, let's load up a preset. So we've got, say, pop rock. We go down to chord 04. There's a number of different sort of typical patterns in different genres here you can load up. So we've got now a sequence which, as you can see, goes across lots of strings at the same time. You can change this in any number of ways. This is what the pattern is as it comes, which is very similar to what we were playing in the chord mode. But you can see we can be very specific. We can just make it a bit lighter maybe with these, and just cut down the number of strings playing at the same time. And we can change volumes, so we can make it a bit lighter in the middle and make those big strums on the beats here, just keep them a bit heavier, just make everything a bit lighter. By the way, when you press the sequence key, one of these yellow keys, because there's 4 banks you can load sequences onto, it's all relative. These volumes at the bottom, they're all relative to how hard you hit the key. So I'm hitting quite soft here. And you can change the strum speed. This is all covered in the first sequence video, but if I want to make it a bit more loose. And you can automate this, and you can use MIDI CC1, the mod wheel, to change the strum speed, and it really does create, there's endless possibilities for creating really human kind of realistic sounding strum patterns. So the style row is basically all the articulations that we have, and this all button here, you can change them all at the same time. So that's normal, is the big circle. We've got some nice palm mutes, harmonics, a little bit more unusual. Short notes, which you can determine the note length. So if I increase that, it just depends on the tempo of your music. You know, you just got to judge it musically, really, if you want that sort of thing. So let's go back to normal notes, but you can also be particular. So you know, you could have a couple of palm mutes here. And see, it only blocks the strings that you could hear underneath the bass we're ringing on. So I guess the main thing I was going to talk to you about today is the strum row. I've actually got my Martin here, the very Martin that I used to create this thing. And if I just give you an example, I'm going to tap a beat. I've got a bit of a block here, if you can hear that. On the beat, I'm going forward, down, you could say from a up-down point of view, but I'll call them forward strums. Now in between the beats, I'll be going backwards, and when I combine those two in any kind of different ways, and it can go complicated, but the main thing is my hand is always moving. So as a general rule, I would advise all on beats to be forward strums, all off beats to be backward strums, but that's just a general rule advice, really. You could have all down strums, like, and you could accent certain things. You know, very rare that you'd have all up strums. That's not really going to happen. So coming back to Soft Acoustic Guitar here, this strum row is very important for creating a realistic way of playing your sequence if you've got chords. So you can see there's an up arrow, which is the forward strum. We have a down arrow, which is the back strum, and the ellipse is the just finger picked. So just going back to the guitar, so we have down strums where you're pushing down across from the bass to the top, or you've got up strums where you're going backwards, or you've got picking, which is useful for certain styles, you know, like so looking at this particular sequence loaded, we have 2 bars. I'm just going to tighten that strum up a bit, dehumanize it a little bit, if that's the right word. So we have 2 bars of 4 beats cut into quavers, which means all the first pair of each beat will be forward strums, as you can see, and backward strums for the second pair, anything appearing in the second pair. And that ensures that we have a nice consistent strum where the hand is always moving steadily. Of course you could change it, like I said, so you could have this. You just have to fiddle around sometimes to get the right kind of sound you want. Okay, so I think what we'll do is just press this initialize button, and just very quickly, this is how you'd set it up. So let's say we had the 16th semiquavers. You can see here we can reset everything, we can put everything as the same. That'll be the starting point, and then what I'll do is I'll just set it up. When you've got semiquavers, obviously you've only got 2 options, down or up, when you're strumming. So the meter would be, the first and the third would be forward strums, not down strums, sorry, forward strums, and the second and fourth would be up strums. This is only relevant when you've got more than one string at the same time, you know, this row. So say if I just have a basic arpeggio like that, it's not going to make any difference. But if I did something like that, you got a nice, and you can see if you slow down the strum speed, lovely strums. You got that sound. And you see how quickly, how easy we can create some really nice, unique patterns. So obviously you want to speed that strum up a little bit, maybe humanize it a little bit more, just why not? And then maybe something like that, just to jazz it up. We can make these muted. And because I set everything out nicely at the beginning with the strums, I don't have to worry about them. You see how the top strings ring on? Because why would they block unless you actually purposely wanted them to block? In which case you could do a little block here, which is one of the articulations here. Now you see we've got a slap. We turn that right down, and it will turn into just a lovely block. We could fill these in, and of course we want to make these muted as well, because that's pretty much impossible to play in real life. Turn the volumes down as well, just to give it a bit of weighting towards the double string mutes. So any other questions you have with the sequencer, please do look at my previous video. It covers all the controls that you see here, and talks about other ways that you can bring out realism. Also covers the MIDI drag and drop, which is an amazing feature, just to very briefly show you. So I'm going to press this record MIDI button here and just go back to an F chord or something. Recording some MIDI. Yeah, and then turn off record MIDI. Now when we have drag and drop, this will bring in some information, which will be a lovely MIDI region. Make sure you're back in note mode, by the way. And as you can see here, we have some lovely MIDI. Everything's been recorded. And as you can hear there, everything's been recorded, and all the articulations, all the squeaks, which you can then go into and change. So this is just a brief example again of how amazingly flexible suddenly the sequencer is. Just a starting point for anything you want to do. You can change the squeak, you can change the note. So here I could change that to a nice major 7. Plus you can of course copy and paste your sequence and you know, make alterations, make endless variations of what you've done. So that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Just a little bit of guitar theory there when it comes to strumming and creating lovely realistic patterns on soft acoustic guitar. And I hope you've seen again how easy it is to just either load up a preset and make tweaks, or create your own from scratch in seconds really. And I hope you're enjoying it. Thanks again, and see you soon.